All right, head on over to YouTube, guys. YouTube, Alpha Day Trading. We are officially live right now at this point in time. All right, so we're going to give you guys the rundown for today, my top stocks, my game plans, what I'm looking at, and why I'm looking at these stocks. All right, it's the pre-market rundown. So come on over. You got about 30 minutes. We'll have some fun. We'll get you guys prepared. We'll make it happen, and we'll get you guys all set, ready to rock for today. So again, YouTube. Alpha Day Trading live stream is now up. And let's go ahead and get you guys prepared during the pre-market rundown. David, what's going on, man? Jim's over there as well. What's up, brother? How we doing? Let's get to it. We'll officially run the intro and officially dive into it right at 9 o'clock. So we're gonna let everybody kind of migrate over, get ready to rock and roll. All right, and we'll officially dive into this in the next 4 minutes. So just come in, say good morning, and get strapped in. It's gonna be a fun morning. It's gonna be a fun day, guys. Skylar, what's up? Gino, Joey, Jim, David, what is going on? Paper Planes, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. All right. All right, YouTube, not YouTubers, but TikTokers. All right, come over to YouTube, Alpha Day Trading. Again, let's go ahead and get you guys prepared for today. The pre-market rundown, what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it, my levels, my game plans, my entries, my exits. I mean, you name it. I want you guys to learn as much as possible during these sessions, but be able to take something away. And if you can lock in some profits and get some nice base hits. Let's get you guys some nice base hit profits while you guys learn, get prepared for today's trading session, and start the week off strong and profitable. All right. So again, Alpha Day Trading on YouTube. I will see you guys there, and we're officially going live in the next 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and make it happen. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, traders inside the chat. What's up? What's going on? And happy Money Tuesday, baby. We are back after a long 3-day weekend, but honestly, guys, a much needed 3-day weekend. I tell you what, it was nice. It was peaceful. It was relaxing being away from the market. But I tell you what, at the same time, I missed you guys. I missed working with you. I missed not being here yesterday, even though a lot of you guys still showed up on a holiday thinking the market's open. Like, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I'm joking. But anyway, I'm happy to be back. I'm excited to be here because we have a lot of opportunity in this market. There's just so much potential for you guys to lock in amazing profits, to at least learn in this market, to earn at the same time, to apply what you're learning, to feel more confident, to just start crushing it, crushing your goals and locking in amazing profits. There is so much opportunity for you guys to absolutely dominate it in this market. So continue to show up every single day. Continue to apply yourself, inside the market, out of the market when it comes to your TA and your ability to identify strategies and setups and trades. But honestly, really focus on the mindset, the discipline aspect, really get, that personal development going in your day-to-day life that's going to bleed into your trading. Like, you have the potential to make 2023 your year. Right? So continue to show up, continue to apply yourself each and every day. And before you know it, you'll be exactly where you want to be. So I'm excited to be here, team. I'm excited to work with you. I'm excited to help you reach your goals, to accomplish them, to crush them, to become amazing day traders, to lock in those consistent profits. And today we have a lot of great opportunity to do just that. All right. So again, hit me with a big old Alpha Day Trading good morning if you haven't already done so. Again, everybody inside of chat, welcome back, traders. Welcome back, team. And hopefully, you guys, again, had a nice 3-day weekend. I hope you guys are fired up, focused, ready to go, ready to crush this market. And then everybody over on YouTube, what's up? What's going on? Good morning as well. You got Joey, David, Paper Planes over there. Good morning. Jim, good morning, everybody. Again, keep crushing it, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to show up. We appreciate your support. We're happy to have you here. And let's go ahead and get you guys prepared for today's trading session. And again, the goal is to help you learn, right? Pick apart these morning sessions, help you guys learn, apply some of this in the market, but really identify what are the top stocks that I'm watching for today? How am I looking to make money in the market? How am I looking to navigate the market? How am I looking to position myself, right? Like, and really break this down from an educational standpoint too, like how I identified these setups, why my levels are my levels, why I'm looking to get involved, where I'm looking to get involved. A really great opportunity for you guys to learn a lot, but then apply this and maybe lock in some profits too over on YouTube. All right. And see that it is possible, again, to make consistent money in the market. And then traders inside of chat, we're just going to keep crushing it like we do every single day. So again, John, Hunter, Catherine, Josie, good morning. Joey, Steve, Tracy, Trader, Adam, Kids King, Nick, AJ. Again, if you have not hit me with a good morning yet, you better start hitting me with those good mornings. Okay. If you're here right now and you haven't said good morning yet, shame on you. You got to hit me with a big old Alpha Day Trading good morning. It's 9:03 on this beautiful Money Tuesday, February 21st, right? We got this week and we got a few days next week. I said a few days, we got a couple of days next week until we end our month of February. And so far, it's been a killer month of February. So officially, we have 4 days this week, 2 days next week. We got 6 trading days to go, about a week and a half. Let's make it the best week and a half so far of February. Let's start with the pennies real quick. All right, Nick. Really quick. Haha, that rhymes. Nick, really quick. Again, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, buddy. Your best trade was when it was breaking over the gap down high. You asked me about this for a dead cat bounce. I said absolutely over 44 cents, right? Has potential in the coming weeks to fill the gap. You should have been all over this down here, right? Your entries were a break over the gap down high, down around that 45 cents. Obviously, you should be scaling out, taking profits, right? There's so much potential to be scaling out and locking in profits, right? So is there another opportunity for a trade? Yes, but it's riskier because your risk is greatly increased, right? So, I mean, if you're looking to grab something on SIDU and you think it still has potential, you're looking for that break over 80 cents up to 87 cents. That's going to be a complete gap fill. Right. And if it does break above the 87-cent gap fill level, then yes, you could see it up towards around $1, which is also the 50 SMA on SIDU. But again, look at your risk. Your risk is under the prior swing low at like 60 cents. So you got like what, 20 cents of risk from just looking at the chart where a proper stop should be if you just place stops under the prior swing low. And you have equal upside potential, 20 cents to the upside, 20 cents of risk compared to getting involved, way down here at 44 cents where your stops are less than 10 cents and potential's 40 plus cents. So, I mean, it's just hard for me to justify like me getting involved here at 80 cents. If you're looking for like any kind of swing trade, right? Just really hard when we were talking about this 2 weeks ago and the best trades were down at like 44 cents. But if you're looking at it from like a day trade perspective, yeah, you break over 80 cents, you have potential to fill that gap at 86 cents. Okay, you break that 80 cent level, which was the low of day before the gap down, then yes, you could see this continue to squeeze and continue to grind on up towards around $1 here on SIDU. All right. What are going to be the top stocks of the day for pennies for those of you that are actually still participating in the penny stock markets? All right, you got MOB right now, number one on the leaderboard, currently up 76%. A very, 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 very low float stock. Guys, it's 72,000 in float. When we're looking at low floats, we're looking at 1, 2, 3 million. This is 70,000 in float. That is extremely low. This stock could really move, very quick, very fast, and very big too. You can see 50-cent dollar swings on the stock. This is the type of stock that can move a lot, and it could get halted a lot as well. So just keep in mind, this is a very, very, very low float stock. And the lower the flow, the bigger the spikes, but also the bigger the drops and the quicker that these stocks can move. Trading really, really good volume. Why is the stock even moving right now at this point in time? Like, what's the catalyst, right? Well, the catalyst is the press release that they dropped here at 8:30. Right, MOB and Mistral, a prime contractor for the U.S. Department of Defense, are forming a strategic partnership. That's a great press release here, and no wonder the stock is up 70% at this point in time. Bottom support going to be $2.20 here, team. All right, $2.20 is going to be your light level of support. It's just that prior spiking high, right? You had a little bit of resistance here before that drop. You came back up and tapped it right around 220 before that massive rejection and before it continued to drop on off. It's not the strongest level of support, but it's a light level of support right around that 220. We'll see if it can hold on up. And if it can't, you're coming down towards around $2. And then if you crack below $2, you're coming back down towards around 169 here on MOB. So just wait to see where this holds on up. Is it going to hold 220? If so, take your trades at 220, stops below that 220 support. If it cracks below 220 and comes down to 2 and it starts the bottom and you like it at that $2 support level, take your entries right around $2. If you like getting involved at levels of support, put stops below $2, right? Now, if you can get a nice bounce at one of these levels of support and then you get a follow through for a break of this downtrend, that's fantastic. That would be a high quality, high probability trade here on MOB. So let's see where it comes down to, right around 220, maybe $2 if 220 can't hold on up. Like to see one of these two levels hold as support, eventually give us a proper, more defined, better developed setup for a potential break of this downtrend to grab some entries for the spike back up to high a day, right around $3. If and when we start breaking $3 here on MOB, we have potential to 362. And if we ever break 362, we have room to $5. So again, my game plan here is to catch this as close to support as possible. Start getting a position going down towards around that 2 to 220 level of support here on MOB, and then adding to it if and when we break that downtrend for the spike back up to those highs, and then take majority of my profit if we're in this trade at that point in time, but leave a runner on the table for the runner potentially up to that 362 resistance level, and then up towards around $5. Number one stock right now at this point in time is going to be MOB. CMMB was on watch, but here's the deal. We just cracked this uptrend from the bullish side to the bearish side. Number one. Number two, we just fell back below the 200-day moving average, right? 274, 200 SMA. 200 SMA. We broke it. We came down. We didn't retest it. We lost it back below that level, cracking the uptrend, going from the, again, bullish side to the bearish side. It doesn't look all that great here on CMMB, right? CMMB had a press release. Stock is soaring after the FDA cleared IND for SSC treatment. So we had CMMB with a decent press release, right? It's a nice lower float stock, getting some great action. But again, two things that really stand out. That's bearish. You're below the 200-day moving average, which is bearish. After we hit it several times, after we broke it and fell back below it, just doesn't look all that great now that it's back below the 200 SMA. Doesn't look great now that we cracked that trend line either. So I don't really see a lot happening with CMMB, but it's worth keeping on watch to see if it ever, for some reason, does come into this support level down towards around like 236. and see if it holds on up above 236. And if it does hold that level and break the downtrend, then we could see it back up to the 200-day moving average as resistance, as a profit-taking level. But it's a stretch. You got to sit back and just wait to see what we do around 236. If we bounce and hold, any point in time break the downtrend, you could have a quick scalp and a quick trade back up to that 274 resistance there on CMMB. Last, penny stock. Number 3 is going to be ARBE, but this one's a little bit risky because there's no reason for the stock to be moving, right? There's no press release initially for the stock to be moving. There were no filings, but again, it just came down and bounced here on Wednesday, right? Wednesday had a bit of a bounce. Thursday continues, and then momentum carries this through into Friday. And the only thing that I can think that got this thing going is it came back down towards around those daily lows, right? And then you have earnings coming on up, so it was already on radar, right? Traders already have this on radar. They see it's coming into these yearly lows, right? We're coming into this very strong support level around $3 with earnings right around the corner. And then we saw a little bit of a move here Wednesday into Thursday, and then just traders continue to move on in. And now this is all a momentum-based trade. But again, no real strong catalyst, no real hot press release, no filing, no insider buying. Again, nothing like that. Just coming into that daily support level, probably just on some traders' radars ahead of earnings. And again, just starting to hit some of those scanners on Thursday. And then we see this continue to move on up Friday into pre-market today here on ARBE. It's a nice lower float stock, right? It's not low, but it's low enough. 24 million in float, trading 8 million shares, up 50% at this point in time, and still has potential to move, right? Now, look at this during the day, all right? Thursday, it's very choppy and very scattered. It seems to be very, very hard to day trade, especially Thursday and Friday. So if we see the same kind of movement here intraday, it's going to be a challenging one to day trade. But if we can see some nice consistency and nice movements here today, like we're seeing in pre-markets, then okay, we may have some opportunity. But it is a very, very risky stock. It's very overextended. Again, on Wednesday, the stock was trading at $3. We just hit a high of $7.70 here on ARBE, right? It's very overextended. We're going to be gapping up massively. And we have a lot of room to fall back down the 583. So just be very safe on this, guys. Have those plans built and in place. And if you're looking to get in for a break of the downtrend and it breaks, and you get in, for example, and it comes back below that trend line or below the prior swing, just get out of this trade. Do not hold this in hope, because this is a stock that could pull back substantially. And the last thing that you guys want to be doing is holding the stock at, say, $7, not honoring a stop loss, and then at the end of the day, the thing's down around $5 and you take a massive, massive loss. Do not put yourself in that position. Have a strong plan in place, have a strong reason to be in this play, in the stock, and manage your risk. Honor your stop loss, okay? Make sure that you don't make any kind of bad decision here on ARBE, because this is the type of stock that could give everything back and never recover, okay? Again, it's had 2 really, really nice days to the upside, okay? Thursday and Friday. Stock's gone from around 3. Again, Friday hit highs of 442. We just hit this high of 770 here in pre-market. Support right now at this point in time here with ARBE, I would say is going to be back down around 583 is your best level of support here with this stock. But what you're looking for at some point today is to get a break of this downtrend for a quick trade, for a quick spike. Again, break the downtrend, buyers move on in. You can get a quick little spike on up into that VWAP for a quick scalp. But if we get a solid break of that downtrend and we see it continue and it actually follows through, then you would have some potential to see this spike back up to $7.70. Okay, that is going to be your main level of resistance today, right around 770 to 780. Not only is it your pre-market high resistance, but it's also a lot of daily support here, right? A lot of daily support, daily resistance, daily support, daily resistance. You can see that that 780 level has been touched as support 1, 2, 3, and then it's been touched as resistance 1, 2, 3 different times. We can see multiple touches at that 780. Very key level of resistance here with ARBE. So again, you got support down around 583. Want to see it bounce somewhere as close to 583 as possible. Get a nice bounce. Eventually, break this downtrend. We can see if it follows through for those entries. And if so, we know we have some room back up towards around 770, right? So we'll keep ARBE on watch down towards around that 583. Those are going to be your top pennies for today. Your top three, once again, ARBE, possibly CMMB down towards around 236 for a break of that downtrend. And then MOB down towards around 2 to 220 support for a break of its downtrend as well. I would say number one's MOB. I like the way it's moving. I would say number two CMMB. I like the way it's moving a little bit better compared to ARBE. So I would say it's going to be in that order. MOB number one, all your focus at the start of the day, has the best potential. Then again, you're looking at CMMB number two, down around 236 support. And then ARBE down towards around 583 support. And all three stocks are looking to set up for breaks of their downtrend. All right, so get focused, get prepared, start building those plans. You may have some trades right before the market opens, and you may have some trades right when the market opens coming on up at 9:30, guys. These could be your one and done trades. These could be those trades that get you to your goal today. Don't miss out. Build those plans, get prepared, take advantage of these trades. Again, MOB looking really good right now, and then CMMB coming on up. Not looking all that bad either. All right, so those are your top pennies for today. What's my analysis and my game plan here on the SPY? And again, really depending on what happens with the SPY is going to dictate, do we have our plan play out on Apple? Or are we going to see NVIDIA play on out for us? Is it going to be Bank of America, BAC? Really depends on what the broader market does. Okay, so if the SPY is able to break this downtrend here, okay, we want to play calls back up to 404.16. Right, that's going to be Friday's low. There's a lot of support here, prior support, right around that 404.16 level here on the SPY, right? A lot of that 404.16 support. Look at that, 404.16, massive move. 404.16, massive move on up. 404.16, Friday's low of day, right? Massive move on up. Look at how many times we touched 404.16 on Friday. 1, 2, 3 times. And that was just Friday. That's not even going back over the last few weeks and seeing how many times the SPY has come down to that 404.16. How many times the SPY has came down and held 404.16 as support, right? So that's going to be a key level of resistance now that we're below it, right? It was support several times. Now we're below 404.16. What is that going to be? It's going to be resistance now at this point in time. All right. So if we break this downtrend, you have a short-term trade back up towards around 404.16 for some calls, right? But if we cannot break 404.16, you don't want to be greedy. You don't want to hold this because that's a strong level of resistance now, as long as we're below it. Okay. So if we do break the downtrend, I may take some calls for a quick scalp up to that 404.16. And if we break and hold above 404.16 and regain that level as support, then hey, I'll have a runner on the table and the SPY could get back up towards around 405.42. Not a bad little move here today out of the SPY if that takes place. But let's say we can't break the downtrend, right? Let's say we can't get back above 404.16 on the SPY and we're still short-term bearish, which is the side I'm leaning towards, right? I'm definitely leaning towards the side of we continue the fade and fall. I don't think we break 404.16. We may break the downtrend for a quick scalp to 404.16 to play calls, and I may take that short-term scalp trade, but I don't think we break the 404.16, and I'm actually looking to see if we stay below that level. And if we do, and as long as we do, I'll be looking to play puts for the crack on down below this support level here in pre-market, right around 403.35 down to $400. And I do think that's more realistic to see the SPY down around 400 versus breaking the downtrend, breaking 404.16 and making a move on up back into the mid 405s. I'm definitely leaning towards the bearish side. And here's a couple reasons why. We were talking about this last week. The main reason here is we just cracked our uptrend, right? We had this uptrend that we hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then we cracked below that trend line here last Thursday into Friday, going from the bullish side of this trend line, now going to the bearish side. Number one. Number two, we're officially putting in those lower lows, right? We had higher lows and higher highs, higher lows and higher highs. Then we kind of stalled out. We chopped, we set sideways, starting to put in some of our official first lower high and now lower low, right? So we're actually seeing a reversal in this trend. We're seeing a crack of the trend line going from the bullish side, and we hit that trend line several times, now going to the bearish side. And you look at that daily chart, where's the next main key level of support on the SPY? When you really take a look at the SPY, where do you think it's coming on down to? Well, I think we're coming on down to this trend line, right? From that October low to all of these lows here in December. Look at how many times we hit that trend line, right? Starts here, point number one. Here's point two, and then you hit it an extra time, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6 times. We hit it so many times throughout December before we had that massive move on up. So where does that trend line put us? Well, that trend line puts us back down towards around some key levels of support. And then on top of that, puts us back down around the 50 SMA, right? And the 200 SMA, right around the mid 395. So I think that's the most logical thing to see the SPY do in the coming weeks, right? Through this week and into next week, I do believe we see the SPY cracking 400, coming down into the 50 SMA, trying to hold it as support, into the 200 SMA, trying to hold it as support, and then back into that trend line, which is right around, again, that 395 price point. So you have the trend line, you have the 200 SMA, you have the 50 SMA, you have prior support right around 395. That is the most logical area that I see the SPY coming on down to before maybe starting to think about playing some calls for a possible bounce, for a possible rebound and the next leg up. But I definitely think we come down towards around the mid 395s first here this week into next week. So for the rest of February, I'm definitely looking for more of those short-term, short opportunities to play puts, whether those are day trades, whether that's, holding some of these day trades into swing trades over the next week or two, as I do believe the SPY comes down towards around that 395 level. So I'm leaning towards that side for those reasons. And I'm just going to trade accordingly. Now, if the market just holds 403.35 and breaks the downtrend and starts to squeeze, then hey, for the first time in a long time, my analysis is not correct. The markets want to rip. The markets want to move higher. I'll simply reassess, remove my bias, and trade accordingly, trade with the market. But right now, there's just too many things that suggest more room to the downside versus room to the upside. There's just too many things from a technical perspective that suggest we drop on off, we continue to fade and fall, again, versus breaking on up back into the 410s and 415s. On top of that, want to point this out, on top of that, we do have FOMC minutes being released tomorrow at 2 p.m., guys. So we have FOMC minutes being released tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So be mindful of that. That's going to definitely bring in some volatility into this market, guys. And that could be the trigger that really starts a little bit more of this sell-off to where we can see the SPY down around 395 by the end of the week. And yes, you are 100% correct, guys. I do plan on positioning myself correctly on these day trades to where if I want, I can hold some of these contracts overnight for a potential swing trade. So I'll be going about 30 days out on all of my day trades. I will just, again, I'll go 30 days out on these puts. If we start getting these entries here today, I will look to take some profits as it's a great day trade opportunity based on everything we just discussed. Again, that crack below 403.30 down to 400. But if we're still fading and falling towards the end of the day, and it looks like we're going to get that continuation into tomorrow through the rest of this week, I definitely want to make sure that I'm positioned correctly to hold some of these contracts overnight. So again, going 30 to 45 days out on those put contracts, if and when we get the reason, and if and when we get the entries here on the SPY. So really depends on what the SPY does, right? Of course, it depends on what the SPY does here today. That's going to dictate, do we have our gap fill trade on Apple, right? Catherine, we said wait for Apple to crack the trend line. Apple cracked the trend line on Thursday. I hope you would have grabbed your puts because, hey, you're looking really nice here on Apple, right? So you cracked the trend line from the bullish side to the bearish side. Fantastic. And we're officially below Friday's low of day. So as long as we stay below Friday's low of day at 150.85 and we start to crack below that 150 level, I definitely want to swing trade some puts down towards around 146.50. It's your gap fill here on Apple. You see that gap from February 1st to February 2nd? We left this gap. Gaps love to be filled. On top of that, it's your 200 SMA that has yet to really be retested since we've broken that level. So I really do believe if the markets continue to drop, which is my thesis, which is my my thought process based on our analysis on the SPY, I do believe Apple stays below Friday's low of day, 150.85, making this a great area to get short for that crack below 150. And then here by the end of the week, I do see Apple down towards around that 146.50 to 147 level to fill this daily gap, to also come down and retest that red line, which is your 200 SMA. All right. So Apple want to be looking to play those puts for that daily gap fill today. And again, position yourself correctly. This could turn into a fantastic swing trade. And then lastly, for the reversal here on NVIDIA, right? Number one, we just cracked that very steep uptrend after we double topped. So we put in this double top, we cracked the trend line, and the confirmed entry here is going to be if and when we crack below the 20 EMA, right? That yellow line, the 20 EMA, we have to lose that, okay? And then number two, okay, cracking below the 20 EMA. Number two, the neckline, right? The neckline. Stir, give me 3 minutes right at 9:30, all right? Again, so NVIDIA just double topped here, cracked the trend line, and now we need to see a crack of the neckline, right? If we can crack that neckline right around 208, right? After we just cracked the trend line, after we just put in this solid crystal clear double top, I believe we come back down for a 50% retracement. So from this low to this high on NVIDIA, a 50% retracement puts you back down around 187.40. And look at that level as well. Not only is it a 50% retracement, look at that daily support, resistance, 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 support, right? It's been hit multiple times. That's a key level of support here on NVIDIA. And it also happens to be a 50% fib retracement. So I would really like to be getting involved here. Again, on NVIDIA, if we can crack below that 208 support level, which is also a crack of the 20 EMA, that would confirm some puts for a nice little swing trade down towards around 187.40. Okay. And then last but not least, Bank of America, right? If my analysis is incorrect and the SPY wants to rip, right? And the Qs want to rip and the overall market wants to move higher today and this week, play calls on Bank of America off this trend line. Okay. You see this third point of the trend line that we validated here on Friday. We came down Friday. We bounced off that trend line. Looks fantastic. But what did the SPY do on Friday? Had a green day. What did the NASDAQ have? A green day. What did everything do across the board? Had a green day. BAC is going to follow suit with the market. So again, this is the only trade that you're going to take calls on if the SPY moves on up higher, if the Qs move on up higher. If you don't get your short entries on Apple, NVIDIA, and the SPY, guess what you may have is some long entries here on BAC, Bank of America, up towards around $37 off this trend line support, stops below Friday's low of day. All right, there's a lot to discuss today, but hey, we nailed it on the head. We hammered it out. You guys are all set ready to rock. YouTube, enjoy your day. All right, it's 9:30. We're officially going live inside a chat with members for the trading day, looking to lock in some big time profits, looking to educate them like we do every day and have some fun with it. Team, inside a chat, we got 3 seconds until the market opens on up. We are officially live traders inside a chat. Let's have an amazing day. Let's have a fun day. And most importantly, let's have a profitable day in this market and just freaking crush it. All right, let's get to it, guys. Right now, I'm watching the SPY out of the gate. Depending on what the SPY does, we'll see if we have any reason to get involved with Apple. Same thing with NVIDIA. Okay, ARBE, let it come down to 583 supports. CMMB, ideally 236 supports. MOB, 2 to 220 support. There with MOB. Right now, sit on your hands. Let's see what we got going on.